right. The showcase happened yesterday, and season which came out also yesterday. Obviously, part of the showcase. So, I'm gonna talk about it. I'll try not to be as cynical. I'll try to be nice a little bit. Um, to sum up the showcase, they showed off the trailer, the reveal trailer for Final Shape. They showed off a little bit about the campaign, like just the general like overview of what's going on. And then some new supers for light subclasses and new aspects. And then they talked about the weapons team, some weapons coming up in the future, stuff like that. Overall, the showcase was like a showcase. It was like Lightfall. It was like the other showcases. Um, the only thing that I kind of liked, like nothing, like of course, I don't even think this has to say like goes without saying, but obviously the visuals were nice. I thought the cool part was like the new Titan super, how you can pick up the axe after you throw it, and then you can use like a kind of like a vortex. So I mean that's cool. Um, Again, I would have preferred more stasis sub or new stasis supers or something a little more involving stasis, or because it's kind of like weak right now. Like the light based supers are in a pretty good spot, honestly. Like Titan's getting a ranged one off super is pretty nice though. But yeah, more or less, I thought the showcase was okay. Nothing they showed me really wowed me. Now, if I want to be a little bit cynical, it definitely seems a lot of like nostalgia because when you go in, because essentially the campaign's going to take place inside the Traveler, which is its pale heart, and you're going to journey to like the center or something to find the witness. And apparently, the way it works is that the Traveler like is building. The pale heart shaped itself around like memories of people and stuff like that. That's why the old tower is back. That's why certain older locations you'll see, or maybe that's why Cade's there to begin with, because he's influenced so many people's lives. They described him as like a Virgil character to guide us through this weird place. Um, so there's that. Also, there's new enemies called Subjugators. They're basically like the new heavy unit, like Lucent Hive or how Tormentors are. And they're basically mini Rolks. One can use Stasis, one can use Strand, and more or less, I unironically might run a Titan to in Path of Burning Steps to ignore the Stasis one. But that's it. There was no new Darkness subclass. Again, I hadn't seen the leaks myself, but people were talking about how there was like a new red subclass or something called Strain or some shit Siphon, some crap. Maybe it's coming out and the Echoes thing or the new episode stuff, which is replacing seasons. But as of now, it could be a really well kept secret. Who knows? Um, but that's pretty much it in terms of new stuff though. In terms of like supers, so three new supers. One for Solar Arc and Void. Let's go. So Solar Warlock is basically getting back Radiance. Uh, and in this version, it'll double the projectiles you throw if you're like Incinerator Snap, and assuming Celestial Fire. Your grenade now turns into like a little like bird. I'm guessing like a phoenix, and it just starts going between people and blowing stuff up. They finally added the Fire Soul, so now we have all three souls, and you can cast your Rift and it deploys like a kind of like an Acolyte Bomb. Titan again, they have I think it's called Twilight Arsenal. Essentially, you throw three Void Axes, they suck things up, they explode, and then they leave behind like a relic, kind of like a Resonant Iron Axe or a Nightmare Harvester, and your allies can pick them up and use them. Their new aspects like a Vortex Shield from Titanfall, where you hold out a shield, you use your grenade, but you hold out your shield, it absorbs damage, you can shoot it back out. Hunters basically get like a reimagined Blade Dancer, where you take the Blade Dancer knife, you throw it, you teleport to it, you do like a wide attack, and then you can do it like two more times after that. Then their new aspects for Arc is that they twirl their staff in the air and automatically amplifying everything, which is like, I mean, I'm not gonna say no to more like sandbox and super stuff, but again, kind of hoping for stasis. But it makes like I get it thematically for the story. Like they said, again, you're inside the Traveler, so you're gonna be more empowered with the light, so that's why you can get new abilities. Fine, whatever. Um, just skipping through. Yeah, this is the exotic weapon you can pre-order to get. It's like a fusion rifle, and it eats your grenades to change its like element to your subclass, and does like a shit ton of damage and gets your grenade back. So I'm told. So this part, episodes again. This is not gonna really be relevant to me because I'm kind of done after Final Shape. But essentially, this is like their reimagining of seasons. So instead of having 4 seasons a year, we're gonna have 3 episodes a year, and each episode is gonna have a different act. And it seems like every act is gonna have like a new exotic mission, new stuff. I mean, I guess the because there's only three, each act or each episode is going to be 4 months long instead of the typical 3 months in the season. So I mean, there's that. Now, curiously enough, the last episode ends on February, so I don't know if there's gonna be like another big DLC at the end of every episode. But again, personally, kind of just done after Final Shape. Um, this is another good change that they're adding in is something called Fire Team Light Level. So yeah, I mean, I think we might have all been there, but we've been there where we had a friend that hasn't played in a while, and we want to show them some cool new stuff. But they're the funny little number in the right hand corner says they're too low enough to get one shot and have a good time. With Fire Team power, basically it will scale everyone's light level to the highest person in the activity. So if the activity is like 1800 and someone's 1810, you have someone who's like 1350, they'll become 1810. So that's cool. They selected some missions to come back, so new lights can actually experience like a somewhat cohesive story now. Like again, I'm pretty sure these are free to new light players. They picked Forsaken, Beyond Light, or Forsaken, Shadowkeep, Beyond Light, and I think they might have done Witch Queen. Not too sure because Witch Queen's still technically new. Um, I am surprised they didn't put in Red War here because you could argue the timeline of events that happened was because the ending of Red War after you fight Gaul and the Traveler wakes up, which then in turn wake up the Pyramid. But whatever. Um, this is the new Fire Team Finder. Oh, Season of the Witch. Yeah, so that was pretty much a showcase. Like I said, sure, as someone who's played the game for 10 years, like yeah, like I felt a little way when I saw like the reveal trailer, going through like some of the memories. But ultimately, like I said, um, actually I'll say that for the end, like my final thoughts. But Season of the Witch, I played it. It's actually not too bad. Again, I have a bad feeling about Eris, but more or less the idea is, you got to resurrect Savathun first. We got to deal with her sister because that's her. That's like, oh, you have to kill my sister first, then I'll resurrect you, then I'll tell you whatever. Um, but to do that, to fight the God of War is kind of like impossible because every time you fight her, you make her stronger. So Eris's plan was to basically become their own, like our own hive god, and I'm already gonna call it now. I hope it's not true, but I have a feeling we're gonna have to kill Eris in this season, or kill her off, or something's gonna happen to her, and she's gonna be like gone or dead. Which sucks because I think Eris is unironically the best character in Destiny. Really, really well written in game and in lore. Has a cool backstory, and it really suck if she fucking died. The comment about Cade being Virgil through the Final Shape campaign. Eris has kind of been our Virgil throughout pretty much the entire series, especially when it comes to the high. Dark Below, Taken King, Witch Queen. A lot of the season were rivals. Uh, even in Beyond Light, she's kind of been the one, but it would suck to see her die. I really hope she doesn't die. But in terms of story, I think it's definitely interesting. The gameplay, the Spire stuff. I actually had fun playing it. It's 3-man match made, and it's like different objectives. It reminds me a little bit of the Menagerie. You have to interact with different crystals, you have to fight different enemies. And it looks kind of nice. So it's not. I'm not sure if this is gonna be a thing or I'll get tired of like in a week or something. I don't know if there's new areas because obviously it's the first week of the season. But so far it's promising. There's also these cards you can get now that like affect what happens when you go into the spire. And then there's the mission. Like how with deep dives you had the actual deep dives, you had or season of the deep, you had the deep dives, you had salvage, and then you had the actual like story mission. The story mission this time is called Invoke, which is just giving Eris more power to become a hive god. Um, so yeah, the seasonal weapon's actually really cool. It is a high boomer. We finally have this in the game. And it pretty much never has to reload. And if you get in range, you fire faster. I don't know what the catalyst does, but I mean it's pretty cool for a seasonal weapon. Crow's End is coming back next week. Witch Queen free trial, and this is some Final Shape FAQ. So to sum it all up, season and all this other crap. I look Dungeon Keeper. Gonna be real honest. Was I hyped for the showcase? No. Especially after the state of the game, Joe Blackburn video, just like the last couple years of Destiny. I remember I was talking to again some of my clanmates and like, oh, why are you so cynical? Why are you so jaded? It's like, well, I remember the last 10 years, and I remember a lot of promises, a lot of things that could have been done differently, a lot of just, nothing ever will live up to its full potential, obviously, but it always seems like Destiny has been kneecapped, like right when it's starting to get momentum, it gets kneecapped every time. And again, maybe episodes are the best thing ever, and they're gonna be better than seasons, and it's gonna be the best thing ever. But like I said, I think for me, I think the Final Shape would be a really good place to hop off, and just like, okay, well, I'm done. Wash my hands. I'm done with Destiny. Man, I don't hope the game fails. Obviously, I don't hope the final shape flops. It would be again. I'll be honest. Like I said, the quote, the final shape. To put warriors to rest, the final shape and its raid will provide a climactic conclusion, light of darkness saga. Uh, Part of me is like, what if that becomes the next two tokens in the blue, or the next renewed folk? Like, I'm just saying. I hope it isn't, but it would be kind of funny in a macabre kind of way. But another important thing is that it seems like they're going with the Taken King approach, or the story, where you'll technically, like I guess, defeat the witness or do something with the witness at the end of the story. But the real ending, air quotes, is the raid. Again, the analog to this, or the equivalent, was the Taken King, where at the end of the Taken King campaign, you kill Oryx, air quotes, and then he takes himself and disappears. And it's like, oh, you did it, he's vanquished, but in reality, you have to go on to the Dreadnought and kill him in his taken form in the King's Fall, and then he actually dies, right? So we'll see. We'll see what that's about. But again, overall, showcase was like, again, I could be really mean. I'll try not to be so negative, but like I said, did anything they showed me like, oh man, this makes me want to keep playing Destiny or whatever? No. I thought, like, again, if I'm being completely honest, I'm like, man, the Traveler base, the Pale Heart kind of creates the environment based on stuff we've seen before. Man, it's like it's a really convenient way to reuse some stuff. It's it's very hard not to be cynical or jaded or make point out flaws. Obviously, I don't hate the game, so I'm still playing it. I will say though, the chat for the live stream was probably the best part of that pre-show, because you could see some people were like, first of all, people. I don't know if there's like a YouTube issue or Bungie issue where it came on at 10:30 Eastern time, but obviously they are on the West Coast, so it should have been for like 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, or whatever. And yet all these people like, oh, Bungie led to their own showcase, even though they for them it was 3 o'clock or 7 o'clock in the morning. But um, another funny thing was just like they're going through all the cinematics and it's like, oh yeah, season 7, this is the best cutscene ever. And then then we cut to Lightfall and everyone's like, oh, L Nimbus incoming. So I thought it was pretty funny, but again, apologies for the sniffles. I have allergies, of course, but overall, if I can sum up the showcase, it's a showcase, and to everyone getting hyped, like I don't want to do it to you, but just you can do a fun experiment. Go to the channel, Destiny 2 channel, go to the live stream section, go to the last year's showcase, and read all those comments, and see how hopeful. And I'm just saying, um, I really don't hope the final shape flops, because it would be kind of sad for a game I've been playing 10 years to end up on a whimper and go instead of going out with a bang. But again, I have to keep reiterating this. Is just I the reason why I'm just not continuing after final shape is that it's like the quality of this. It's been this up and down, up and down. Like, if we're just quick history, Vanilla Destiny 1 sucked. Dark Below sucked. House of Wolves a little bit better. Taken King, great, right? No content beyond that. Rise of Iron, I liked it, and the Age of Triumph, good. Destiny 2 Year 1 sucked. Curse of Osiris sucked. Warmind sucked. Forsaken, arguably one of the best expansions in the history of the game. Black Armory sucked, and I don't want to hear anyone saying, "Oh, it's good." The only reason Black Armory was good because of the weapons. The Kindled Orchid, Hammerhead, the Le Monarch, that's the only reason I was good. Um, Joker's Wild, no, this sucked because the only, again, Game of Prime was okay, but it was unbalanced. The Reckoning mission was just like, oh, kill a bunch of Taken, spam your supers. The only good part in my opinion was the weapons. So again, sucked. Opulence is actually good, and good season, good weapons, good stuff like that. Good loot focusing, so that was good. Shadowkeep sucked. Season of Dying sucked. What came out the Season of Dying? I can't even remember. Uh, was it, no, not Worthy? It wasn't Dawn either. No, no, Dawn came. Oh shit! What was the season after fucking Season of Dawn? I can't even remember. That's how bad it was. Anyways, that sucked. Season of Dawn was good. Season Rivals was good. Beyond Light, trash. The Beyond Light seasons, again, I vaguely remember them. I think Splicer, people like Splicer. Uh, Again, Witch Queen, pretty good. Not as good as Forsaken in terms of content. And then the season after that, Risen was okay. Uh, got Night Season of the Haunted was okay. Like, I didn't think it was the best thing ever. Plunder was kind of. Plunder really did suck because the story was like whatever. Seraph was actually really good, and then Lightfall trash. Season of Defiance is whatever. Season D was actually, pretty good. I think it's pretty good. If it wasn't, yeah, it's pretty good. Then Season of the Witch, don't know yet. But the point is what I'm saying is like there's a lot of just like up and down, up and down, up and down, and then the last couple of expansions too. Like after Forsaken, again, the only other good one was Witch Queen, right? Beyond Light sucked, Shadowkeep sucked, Lightfall sucked, and again, the way they're talking about Final Shape it reminds me of a Witch Queen situation where they're super hyper focused on the story, which is good, right? Because we want a good story. However, the issue with Witch Queen, and the reason why I'd say Forsaken's better, even if the story isn't as great, is that the amount of content. Because Forsaken gave us new subclasses, new perk blocks, new strikes, a lot of new stuff, right? Witch Queen gave us a good campaign, but like two strikes, one crucible map, no gamut stuff, like nothing else. The throne world was pretty much dead and empty, you know. So that's why while I'm glad that they're going to be hyper focused on the campaign, I'm kind of hoping that they focus on other parts of the game because again, it would be nice for people to after they're done with the story to play other shit. Um, but yeah, it's again, I'm not really hyped, and I know there's some people they're like, "Oh, it's the best thing ever." I know a lot of people like I know the forums are always gonna say bad, like they're negative, but most people in the forums don't give a shit. But yeah, again, to reiterate this for the 18th time, I do like the game. I don't want it to fail. However, I will leave out the final shape, and yeah, that's pretty much it. Thanks for watching.